Merry New Year's and a Happy Easter. It's been a great 2020. Now we're moving into 2021, and I'm excited to see what the year brings for us. That's how I imagine Pusha T is going to wake up in the hospital next time Drake's goons catch up to him. The goons or the fans. I'm done with most of the stuff that I have to do for today, so I'm figuring why not just talk about this Travis Scott, Cactus Jack, Jackboys, low-key Don Toliver album that released over the weekend. Now, people were hyped up. I'm not going to lie. People were hyped up. I was hyped up just a little bit on the inside, just a little bit, a teeny weeny bit. Not nearly as hyped for, that Kanye West Jesus is Born album. Woo. But on this one, I was like, yeah, this one's going to be dope. All right, this one's probably going to be dope. I was wrong. Don Toliver is great. I love him so much with all my heart, all my soul, right? He reminds me of an A$AP Ferg and an Akon mixed in one body. And I've said this last year when I first heard him, and no one else can say that they said it first because I said it first. But like I said, it really emulates Akon on this album. It really emulates him on tracks like What to Do. I actually really enjoy his contribution to Gang Gang, the way he slides in really effortlessly after Travis Scott gives his verse. Gang Gang is a great song. Ruined by Sheck West, but it's still a great song. The intro of this album, this collab compilation tape, is a little jarring, given that I was never a fan of Highest in the Room in the first place, and now we have an added verse from someone who's giving an even more mid performance on it. Pop Smoke sounds like Young Jeezy if he had throat cancer on Gotti, and the intro is just like a waste of 45 seconds to a minute of content. Had Enough, Gang Gang, and What to Do are, in my opinion, the tracks on here that are worth talking about. Even the track with Young Thug, I was a bit underwhelmed by. I thought they would give me a bit more of a stronger performance, something to write home about a little bit more, but I was just underwhelmed with what they did with it. The performance just wasn't up to par. The beat, the instrumental, I thought all of that had a lot of potential, but it just didn't build up into anything. Now, Don Toliver does carry, in my opinion, a good amount of the entertainment on this project, but a lot of that is because Travis Scott, in my opinion, decided to take a back seat. This is a compilation record. I wouldn't imagine he would try to be the starlight of every song. I did think that this project would be a bit longer before listening to it. There was a track list that was leaked on Twitter, but I was disappointed to see we only got 7 tracks. However, there's a theory going around that we're going to get 2 more of these compilation tapes that are about as long as this. Hopefully those come out. If they don't, I won't be surprised. If this is all that drops, fine. Now, normally I'm a fan of Travis Scott for one of 2 reasons. Either his really dead style delivery, or we've got some really psychedelic trap going on in the background. But here, nothing's really happening noteworthy even as far as production is concerned. Don Toliver steals the spotlight, and we get a couple decent songs here and there, but nothing really to write home about. I'm not really too crazy about the tape, but hopefully they do something better in the future, and that's all I can say about that. Now for the part that I really wanted to talk about. The new season of You. I know a lot of y'all probably don't watch this show. A lot of y'all probably do watch this show. But You was a show that I got put on to. I forgot who told me about it, and it looked really corny. I remember looking at the trailer, and I saw the actors and the actresses, and I was like, oh, this looks like it's going to be really cheesy and really generic. So I refrained from watching it the first time it was released because I was just like, I'm probably not going to be into it. Then when I watched it, I was like, oh, this nigga's crazy. When I tell you this is what would happen if you, made Peter Parker insane, the commentary on the inside is what always gets me about these stories, because they always make the character seem a bit more personal. Like, he can always rationalize what he's about to do mentally, so you don't have to really do much of the thinking for yourself. The show narrates itself based off of the actions of the actor, and he's telling you everything that he's doing, so you really never have to speculate where he is mentally. However, if he's not aware of his mental state, that's where you come in as a viewer and say, well, this dude's insane. He just is talking like he's normal. The first season, I was really shocked by a lot of what was happening. This chick, Beck, was literally a stationary character in her own life. I really hated her. I hated everything about this character. She did nothing to drive the story forward. She was only something that the story happened to, never someone that moved the story forward. So when she was gotten rid of, I wasn't really that upset. I was shocked by her exit, but I wasn't really that saddened by it. What interested me, though, was the backstory on the relationship that he had with his first girlfriend that never really got much airtime in the first season. when she showed up at the end, I was like, oh, he definitely looked like he'd seen a ghost. And I'll advocate for him and say that he probably did think he saw a ghost, because he's like, yo, I thought I killed you. Season 2 begins, and we start with Candace from the first season, the first girlfriend, and we see that she's confronting Joe. Now, immediately in my head, I'm like, what's wrong with this chick? Because you got to be a certain type of crazy to go back to the person that tried to kill you. He doesn't know you're alive, and then you say, hey, I've got an idea. Most people with some form of intelligence would have just been like, you know what? I'm going to make sure if I do go see this dude, the cops are heavily involved. Maybe I can try to get his admission, like, on tape or something. She's like, nah, I don't like wearing wires. I ain't no snitch. I'm going to handle this on my own. Joe takes this as an opportunity to say bye, and he leaves from New York and goes all the way to L.A. Now, what I was thinking was going to happen, which would have been a great plot twist for the story, write this down, all right? I said it here first. I would have thought that because in season 1 they told us that she was some sort of musician, she was in a band or something, she liked to make music, or she was a singer or something like that, that she knew people in LA, specifically actresses and actors. And I was thinking that she was going to have an actress go and pretend to be in love with Joe so that he could do the same thing with her that she knew that he did with Beck. I was thinking that this character, Love, was an actress, and she was playing it up with Joe so that they could eventually bring him down. But after a certain point, she interjected herself into the story again, Candace, and decided, hey, I'm going to go see him. Why? This chick was paid off to leave after Love had been exposed to the truth of this dude's real identity, and she still said, no, I'm going to go back in again after noticing that these people are crazy. They have zero common sense, and they're willing to pay you to leave so that they don't have to face the truth. I would have been out. But her desire for justice or whatever self-satisfaction that this was going to be beyond that point got her killed. 40 is a guy that I kind of like. You know, I can see myself hanging around 40 without all the insecurities and the desire to be noticed in every room that he's in. 40 does seem like a good guy. He seems like a well-intentioned individual with just a lot of pain in the background and a desire, you know, like a daddy complex. Oh, I didn't get enough attention growing up, head ass. Friends on this season are much more tolerable and much more normal than the previous. Love isn't stationary in her own life. She actually moves the story forward in a lot of ways. But a couple questions I got for this series is, how in the fuck did he move the box from the library from the bookstore to LA? And he got there for, like, he got a storage place for the cage in LA before he even got a place there. You're renting an apartment out there, and then you don't have to give her any information. The guy that hires him required no application. You just throw a book on the table, and boom, you're working here now. I get that the job probably doesn't pay a crazy amount, so they're probably not worried about people going nuts or insane working at a bookstore, but still, like, no background check whatsoever. Joe made me angry at a lot of points in this season because he made some really dumb decisions. For one, going down with a face mask of Henderson to get his confession. Why wouldn't he have a camera immediately on Henderson just before he even woke him up? Why tell him that you're going to confess before he actually does it? Why continue to talk to him with no vocal manipulation at all? Your build looks very similar to someone he just met earlier that week. All you've got covering your face is a paper mask. What are you doing? Henderson's a sicko. He's drugging little girls and then taking photos of them and then, like, putting them in a box. Like, I don't like the storyline is tolerable, but at some moments I'm just like, who even exists like this? Throughout the show, they're trying to get us to kind of understand that Joe isn't a character that kind of spawned out of nowhere. They're throwing random backstories and flashbacks of him dealing with his mother and having abandonment issues and having this, like, savior complex when it comes to women because his mother was beaten and battered, and he watched her get, you know, beaten and battered as he was growing up. He felt he needed to protect her, but then she ultimately ended up abandoning him. So this is why he feels this urge or this desire to be so possessive with the women that he's in relationships with. This desire to protect or find out or know what's best for them, even if it's not truly what's best for them. Like I said, the great thing about the show, regardless of how you feel about the actors and the characters on there, is how they make a clear distinction that this character is not meant to be empathized with. Joe just thinks that his actions are normal and justified, and the way he talks in such a confident way can make you think this dude makes a lot of sense, but he makes no sense at all. He's intelligent when it comes to trying to get himself out of trouble, but the thing is, he's the one that gets himself in trouble, so there's that. Ellie has got to be the dumbest, smartest teenager I've ever seen on a TV show. But to my favorite character of this season has to be Delilah. They tried to pass her off like she was just this unnecessary bitch in the beginning of the series, like she was so obsessed with her own life that she had no real woes or worries beyond, I don't know, her hair and makeup or something like that. But he was actually the smartest character on this season, the one with the most common sense, but just unintentional lack of awareness at the same time. Like the moment Ellie says to her, "Did you tell, Will to follow me?" I don't know why that wouldn't be red flag number one, but I guess she was more concerned with the idea that she had seen Henderson. She was a feminist. She was a little radical in her ideals, but a lot of what her attitude was about was just as a defense mechanism. She really was not that bad of a character at all. Any person with common sense would tell any grown man, stay away from my little sister. I see you talking to her. She's 15, especially given everything that she had been through in the past. It makes sense that she would be cautious and protective over her sister. What ended up getting her taken out wasn't even the fact that she had been with Joe. It was the fact that she was too curious. She was too inquisitive. By far, the smartest decision I think any character has made was putting her phone down when Joe told her to. Like, I'm like, yo, you actually have some intelligence. Parents on You are trash. I like 40, but and Love has got to be the most annoying character I've ever seen. Like, Lord have mercy. Her personality type is that of like a 16-year-old spunky girl, and I hate spunky. Like, bro, just relax, okay? I Wolf You? Like, bitch, what the fuck are we, 7? This is when I knew all of them were crazy. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on, man? Like, grow up, all right? Grow up. You 30 talking about I Wolf You. Like, if you don't take off those pull-ups, I knew she was crazy after she had done all that for Joe after the first night. I just knew it, You got to be aware of people, man. You can never trust people that are too into everything. All right, relax. I'll be here tomorrow. Why are we doing all this? But season 2 of You was cool. I'm waiting on season 3. I want to see how Ellie develops. I want to see the relationship between Love and Joe now that we know that they're both fucking insane and nuts. But yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm interested to see what's gonna happen next. They got a family. She's pregnant. The mom's involved. The mom, when she was moving them in, looked like she knew something. So I think the mom's going to end up being a problem in season 3. Ellie's probably going to be a problem in season 3 as well. He's got his eyes on someone new for absolutely no reason, but we're going to see what happens next year. That was the season 2 review of You. I enjoyed it. It was probably about a 7 out of 10, I'll say. 6.5, 7 out of 10. I like the first one a lot, but I like this one too in a different way. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Travis Scott and You. And I'll see you next time. I'll see what I did there. Nah, not really. All right, bye. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And yeah, I Wolf You. Please don't unsubscribe.